When we started Pinkfish, the big idea was that we could expand the possibilities for people at work. And we encapsulated that into this vision, which is that when you sit down at your desk, with the power of agentic AI, it's like you have the superpowers of 1,000 people at your fingertips. And and what we meant by that was 1,000 people in terms of the capacity of 1,000 people, like literally, replicating yourself 1,000 times, but also the expertise that of 1,000 people, 1,000 people that have expertise that you may not have. The LLM is able to do so much. It knows everything, right? It knows everything across all of the documentation and documents and novels across the internet. And you have that all at your disposal. And the vision for Pinkfish is to be able to kind of wrap that all up in a way that gives you easy access to all of that capability, so that when you sit down to work, you're empowered with those capabilities, and you can just start to do stuff that you weren't able to do before. So to me, this is one of the most exciting things about the era of agentic AI, is that you as somebody who is at work or running a freelance business, you suddenly take on capabilities that were never before possible. And it's kind of like these are your superpowers. So let's talk about what is agentic AI, because there's a lot of noise out in the market, and it's really something that's quite simple. It is using the LLM in a loop where the LLM is able to access and make calls to a set of tools. So what does that mean? What's a tool? A tool could be accessing Google Drive or Microsoft Outlook. It could be reading email or downloading email or sending an email or going and getting tickets from Zendesk or cases from Salesforce. So anything that you can imagine that's possible to do with software, you could imagine as being a tool that's available to the AI agent. The agent, which is really just a call to an LLM, right? It's just a call out to an LLM that says, here's what the user wants to do, and here are the tools that you have available. Can you figure out what to do given this set of tools? And then the LLM just picks a tool and runs the tool, gets the result back, and then does a little evaluation that says, did we do what we think the user wanted to do? If not, go call another tool, or try to call the tool in a slightly different way. Or maybe the tool that we called only gave us a partial answer, and we need to go call another tool now to complete the task that the user gave us. And that's the loop, right? That's the loop where the LLM is calling the tool, evaluating the results, calling another tool, evaluating those results, and just kind of going around in a cycle until it gets to a point where the LLM has determined that it's fulfilled the objective that you as the user have written. So that's it. That's what agentic AI is. It's the LLM operating in a loop with a set of tools at its disposal. In that, agentic AI is a loop with an agent that uses a set of tools. That mirrors exactly what we built out at Pinkfish to help you take advantage of the era of agentic AI. We have a feature set around building AI workflows. These are the tools. And then building AI agents that make use of those tools. One of the really hard things to do is to build tools for agents. So there's a lot of out-of-the-box tools that do kind of somewhat what you want, but not everything that you need. And so building out a custom tool that does exactly what you want is very difficult. But we've made it really easy with Pinkfish. And so just a little preview for what that looks like. Building out an AI workflow or building out the tool is a matter of outlining what you want it to do in English. So you describe each of the steps. It's kind of like just writing a document with a bullet point list. I want you to go retrieve Salesforce cases and then extract some data from those cases and then put together a report about those cases. So it's describing what you want, and then Pinkfish will go off and generate code This is bespoke custom code to meet the objectives that you've outlined in that bullet point list. And it'll produce a production ready workflow that you can then give to your agent as a tool. And then we have the agents. And so the agents that you create, you can create them around specific use cases. So you might create an HR agent or an onboarding agent or a contract review agent. And the intent that we had is that you would build these agents to connect to tools that you've built and then offer them to the rest of your organization. Or if you're a freelancer, you would build out these tools and then sell them to your clients as a way to earn revenue. So that's how Pinkfish works: AI workflows and AI agents that kind of work together to take you into the era of agentic AI.